So XLM tapped into this region that I set out in my previous video, and this region sits between 41.42 cents to 43.78 cents. And since tapping into this region, we then saw this move to the downside, followed by a push to the upside, which was made up of 5 waves, where this is the wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so we ended up reaching this level here at 51.66 cents. And then we saw this corrective move to the downside play out, where we briefly got rejected at the 50 EMA level, and since then we then retested that 50 EMA level, and here we are now actually finding support at that level. And so I am still looking at for that continuation to the upside, where we then breach past this level here and see high highs. And so yeah, given that we have actually tapped outside of this region also, so if I go on the 4-hour chart, I mentioned in the past how it was possible that we had a WXY structure forming, where that Y wave would then tap into this region, sitting between 36.27 cents to 40.95 cents. And I mentioned it was possible that we actually breached outside of this region, and should that be the case, then what we'd see forming is a 5-wave move as opposed to a WXY structure. And for that to be the case, what we need is for the third wave to retrace towards the 1.618 level of this wave 1. And so what I do is I'll bring in the Fib tool and bring that down to the correct origin, and that level sits at 20.01 cents. So if I bring this to over here, and so the 1.618 level sits at 49.82 cents, and here you can see that we ended up breaching past that level where we reached 51.66 cents. And so it's possible that the third wave is complete, and we are now within this retracement to the downside to complete the wave 4. So if I draw that in, so this will be the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. And it will be interesting to see if this wave 4 is actually complete, following this corrective move to the downside, or if we see a deeper move to the downside to then complete this wave 4, and then we see that push to the upside to then complete that 5th wave. So if I remove this, and if I remove this, what I'll do is I'll go in the 5-minute chart just so I can check to see what's actually taking place within this recent move to the downside. So if I zoom in slightly, and straight away I can see that this move here is made up of a corrective move as opposed to an impulsive move, where we had this WXY structure that formed, and we had this move to the upside, and we had this WXY structure that also formed. And so if I bring the Fib tool, so here we reached 48.87 cents. And so that Y wave would typically reach anywhere between 1 to 1.236 of the W wave, and that region sits between 43.41 cents to 44 cents. And so if I just draw that in, so here you can see that we actually just about extended beyond the 1.236 level, but we failed to retrace towards the 1.618 level. And so yeah, it looks like this WXY structure is now complete. And since then we then saw this push to the upside, and so it's possible that once again the 4th wave has formed, and we are now within this 5th wave. But of course we do need further confirmation, because it's still possible that we have a WXY structure that's forming, where we then see that deeper move to the downside, followed by that push to the upside to then complete that 5th wave. And so yeah, if I just adjust this to over here, so what I'm looking at for right now is for a 5-wave move to the upside within this 5th wave. So what I do actually is go on a minute chart instead. So yeah, here it's possible that what we are forming is a 5-wave move, with this being a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5, where we ended up reaching this level here at 47.5 cents. And then if I just zoom out slightly, so we had this corrective move that played out, which looks to be made up of a WXY structure. And then, in fact, we actually went slightly deeper towards this level here at 43.92 cents. So it's possible that we had a WXY structure where that Y wave ended up truncating. And then we are now within this move to the upside. So if I bring in the Fib tool, And that 1.6 minute level sits at 45.3 cents. And we ended up reaching this level here at 45.46 cents. And then since then, we then saw this push to the upside also. So it's possible that what we are forming is a 5-wave move, where this will be the wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5, where the next key target will be the 1.236 level, or anywhere between 1.236 to 1.618. So if I just draw that in, so essentially anywhere between 47 cents to 47.72 cents, so anywhere within this region here. And here you can see that the 88.2% retracement level, so it's at 46.37 cents, which we ended up reaching, and of course that's a bullish signal. And so what that tells me is what we don't have forming is a WXY structure like so, where we could go deeper than this origin at 44.8 cents. So yeah, I'm looking at for that continuation to the upside to then complete this 5th wave. And shortly after, what we could witness is a retracement, followed by a push to the upside also. And so if I go back to the hourly chart, we are within this overbought region. And so again, that could play out with what's going on over here, where we could tap into this region, followed by that retracement to the downside. And if I go in for our chart, what you can see is we are within oversold conditions. And so I'm looking at for the bulls to continue to regain control of the market and continue to drive the price of XLM towards high highs, where we can then breach past this level at 51.66 cents. And so yeah, that's just my quick update on XLM. Hopefully you found it useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit that like button, and if you're new, then feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.